I recently got a comment on one of my videos, and it was from someone named Payton. And Payton asks, what are your thoughts on removing GST on new houses being built? Well, Payton, you've asked, so I'm answering. I want you to imagine for a second that there's a father and he has a son. It's the start of summer, the grass is growing, and the father sees that his son is doing nothing but playing video games. So the father goes to the son and says, son, I'd like you to go outside, contribute to the family, and I'd like you to go and mow the lawn. Of course, the son says, no. The father asks again, son, I'd like you to go outside, contribute to the family, and mow the lawn. The son says, I'd rather play video games. Eventually, the father decides that in order to get his son outside mowing the lawn, that he's going to incentivize him. And he says to the son, son, if you go outside and mow the lawn, I'll pay you $30. The son, of course, hears this and says, $30? Absolutely. I'll go out and I'll mow the lawn. The son then proceeds to go out into the garage to look for the lawnmower, and of course it's buried under shovels and boxes and a bunch of winter gear from the winter before. In fact, the lawnmower is so buried under junk that by the time he digs it out and gets it onto the front yard, in that time he could have mowed 2 yards. In other words, the father increased the incentive for mowing the lawn, but didn't remove the obstacles that would allow him to do it faster. In a lot of ways, that's what the Canadian government has just done. By removing GST on rental construction, you're going to incentivize more rental construction. But you haven't actually removed much of the obstacles that existed in new home construction. And so while I think that this is a good thing because there's more pros than cons, I do think that there's a lot more that needs to be done. Removing the goods and services tax on new rental construction means that developers looking to build purpose-built rentals are going to make more money at the expense of the government receiving less revenue. But given how many times this government has been questioned on missing money, I'm not entirely confident they're going to notice it's missing. What it does mean, though, is that more rental projects should become financially viable, so in theory we should have more rental construction, meaning ultimately lower rents. But that's going to take some time to hit the market, which is why they should have done this back in 2015 when Trudeau originally promised that he would do this. It turns out that he only had to be low in the polls before it suddenly magically was easy to do. Now, it's possible that you might come across a small group of people that are like, this is insane, why is the government giving the rich developers more money? What about the poor Canadians? But that line of thinking probably comes from people who are inexperienced with economics, which is fine, not everybody wants to be an economist. The truth is, just because developers are winning with this GST removal doesn't mean that Canadians aren't either. Developers build more houses to rent, then Canadians have more choice. And if Canadians have more choice, then depending on what happens with the demand side of the economic equation with things like immigration, then you may see rents decline. It'll take some time, but it will happen. It's even possible that developers in pursuit of trying to build more houses may even start paying their laborers more in order to attract better talent in order to meet their production goals.
Shrimp, what?
Shrimp, shrimp,
Have you ever played rugby?